Hi, welcome to vlog 84 and how to set up your business with zero money, step 4. It's been really interesting for me going through all these different steps with you. It takes me right back to the stage when I started, and I really hope you're getting some value from it as well. I've been looking through what we were discussing over the last few nights, and we first of all did a kind of introduction to the series, and we looked at, instead of money, what you could use, like time and leverage and contacts and things like that. Then we focused on, we split it into 5 key areas that we're going to focus on, and those are advertising, office space, training, employees, and paying yourself a wage. And they're really the 5 main areas that people include at the start in their business plan, regardless of what type of business you're going into. Obviously, depending on what industry you're in, there may be certain specific costs, which we're going to try and tackle once we get past these 5 individual things. I've been asking for feedback from yourselves in the comments below about what industry you're in and what you would like particular info on. One thing that's come up is definitely the technology sphere and apps and things like that, so I'll try and get a bit more info on that. But tonight we're going to focus on another one of the 5 key components of your business plan which you anticipate will cost you money. And this one's quite an interesting one because there's quite a lot of variables to this one, but this one is training. And when I mean training, what I refer to is any courses you need to take, any sort of money that you need to pay out in order to get yourself to the stage where you're as experienced as you need to be as the CEO of your business. So I'm going to split it into 2 distinct parts. They kind of fudge over a wee bit each other at times, so bear with me. But for example, you could either set up a business that you know nothing about, or you could set up a business that you're almost an expert in, or you're at least experienced in. And I'll give you an example of this. I mean, I set up my business with no experience in the property industry. So as well as learning about business and finance and employing people and getting an office, and as well as learning about income and outgoings and profit and everything like that, I also had to learn about the property business and the lettings business and what a leasehold was and what a freehold was and what yields you work out, you know, all of these different things, which if I had had a job in a letting agent, or I had been a letting agent for say 5 to 10 years, I wouldn't have needed to learn that stuff because I already knew it from my job. And then the other side of the coin is if you're the expert. So for example, if you've worked in the lettings industry for 5 or 6 years and you're setting up your own lettings agency. So let's take the inexperienced part first. Let's take you know nothing about the industry that you're going into. And in order to feel confident selling a product or building a business or promoting something from within that industry, I totally get that you feel you need some training on that. And of course you do. You definitely need to know about what you're getting involved in. The purpose of this is not to say that you don't need these things. The purpose of this is to try and show you ways that you can get set up without having to spend money on these things. So I'm not advising that you should set up a business in an industry that you know nothing about and not do any kind of training at all. You should definitely do training. But what does that consist of? So, for example, research, right? When I started researching the lettings industry, there was a lot that I could get from just standard textbooks, books that were available on Amazon and books that were available to buy in the shops. But when I was setting up my business, I literally had no money. Like we've discussed that before. I couldn't afford to buy books out the shops because I was reading a book a day. So if I'm reading a book a day and I'm buying them out the shops, I'm going to go through an absolute fortune. So I got a library card, and it was the best thing I ever did. And I was taking 8 books a week out of the library. Now they weren't all about property. A lot of them were about self-development and about accounts and about the setting up of the business. But whatever it is that you're trying to learn, I guarantee there's a book on it. And if it's not in your local library, they'll be able to get it ordered in for you. And as well as learning the actual craft of the industry you're going to go in, regardless of the experience that you've got, everybody has to learn about just doing business. So there's going to be a certain element of research that you're doing anyway. So please don't discount that and think, well, I just need to know about the actual sphere that I'm getting into. For example, I just need to learn about lettings, or I just need to learn about agriculture, I just need to learn about cleaning products. No, you have to learn about business as well. So your training and your research and your information input is twofold. So just because you don't know anything about your craft doesn't mean you should solely be focusing on that. So you can get free resources from, say, the library. And the other thing that going on training courses does. So say for example you've set aside say £5,000 for training courses. What a training course does is it puts you in an environment with like-minded individuals. So you can say, yeah, Angela, that's fine, I can get a book out of the library, but when you're in a classroom situation and you've got other people going through it, you can learn off each other and ask each other questions. That's absolutely 100% true. But you're trying to say you can't replicate that situation without actually paying a fortune for the course. So the industry that you're going to go in, you're going to go into, why don't you contact a few people already working in that industry and see if they fancy a coffee? Why don't you try applying for a few jobs in that industry and use the research material that the company sends you through, or the research that the recruitment consultant sends you through on that company, to learn about that job? I mean, that might sound sneaky, and I've got to be honest, I'm not advising wasting anybody's time, but you've got a goal here. You want to set up a business and you don't have any money, you're going to have to be a bit fly sometimes, you know. But inviting people out and be honest with them about what you're spending their time on, and make sure there's something in it for them. So just say, I'm really keen to get into this industry. I realise that you're one of the best in the industry. I also note that you started only a couple of years ago, and what I would like to do is get to know how you do what you do better, in the hope that we can work together once I'm set up. Something like that. You're not trying to steal anybody else's ideas. You're not trying to get them to sit with you so you go, oh my god, I can do that better than them. It's all about the sharing economy, and all about sort of giving and giving back, and you'll get people that are willing to sit and have a coffee with you. Same way in finding like-minded people. With the age of the internet, you don't really need to go and sit in a classroom situation to find a forum of people talking about the subject that you want to learn about. Property forums are all over the place, cleaning company forums, you know, whatever it is, whatever the trade is, you'll find forums and websites and information and everything like that online to do it. The only difference may be, say you need a qualification in order to actually technically do your job. I would imagine that if you're setting up a business and industry where you need a qualification to do it, you will already have that qualification. If not, maybe it's not right to set up that business, maybe you need a bit more experience, or you need to wait until you've got money to hire somebody, and then you hire somebody to do that, and then you set it up from there. But that's not what we're talking about in this vlog. So let's move on then. If you have the experience, right? You've went to uni for 6 years, you've graduated 4 and then 2, I don't know. Graduated as an architect, you've worked for 3 years as a trainee architect, say, and now you're a fully fledged architect ready to go, and you want to set up an architect's practice. So you don't need any specific training. You're fine. You're good to go. You know everything about architecture. But if you go into that role with that mindset, you're going to very quickly get yourself a second job. So you're going to be working on being an architect and not really being receptive to all of the changes that you're going to have to go through and all of the things you're going to have to do differently because it's your business. So this is where your business skills training comes in. You get a lot of support for this when you're setting up a business. There's lots of places, for example, like government-sponsored agencies, there's privately run incubator spaces, stuff like that. There's a lot of help out there for free that you don't have to pay for. So just because you don't have to do the training for your particular niche job doesn't mean that you don't have to undergo some kind of training to be in business. But don't let that fool you. You don't need to pay for this stuff. Likewise, there's forums online, there's communities online, there's information online, there's Facebook groups, there's everything like that teaching you how to set up your business. Don't get a coach until you have your business set up. Don't have somebody coach you how to do something that you can Google how to set up in 10 minutes. Don't fall into the trap of believing that you don't have everything you need in your toolkit to get this business up and running and off the ground, because you do. It's just about using the free resources that are out there. So imagine you've done all that, right? You've been to the library, you've read a book a day for 3 months, you've learned your craft, you've got all your qualifications, you know what you're going to do, okay? Imagine there's that one course, or maybe 2 courses where you look at and go, that would actually really help. Say I need it for a regulatory body, or say it's just going to be extremely useful. I've narrowed the 100 courses I could go on down to 2. You can get these courses for free. There's always some form of grant or some form of payment plan in terms of the governing body will pay 70%, you pay the rest, stuff like that. And if they don't have it for your particular course, then why don't you find a course that's similar, that gives you the same thing, that you actually get the credits for? By shopping around, by speaking to people who've done it before, even by borrowing the materials, if you can find somebody in the industry that you can kind of, you know, make friends with, by borrowing the materials and stuff like that, that will give you a good head start. Likewise, when you're going into this industry, just remember that the doors that you're opening just now through asking people for their help with this kind of stuff is the doors that's going to help you later on in terms of getting your networking circle. So when you're going networking, don't be scared about finding people who are in your industry and saying, I'm going for this course. Have you done it? Do I need it? Do you have the handbook for it? Do you want to chip in for the handbook for it? All these kind of things. There's just always find a way. You've got to start using your, it's not your intelligence and your degree that's going to get you through this. It's your absolute grit and determination and flyness and hustle and cheek, and you know, it's all these things that you're going to have to bring in to get what you want to get. Absolutely, you could throw money at the situation, but I'm speaking to you, I'm sure, in the same position that I was in 2 years ago, and you don't, 3 years ago, and you don't have money to throw at the situation. So use every trick that you have, use every contact that you have, ask everybody for what you want, and gradually over a couple of months you'll build up enough of an idea about the industry and about being in business and about the role that you'll begin to feel like you know what you're doing. And then that's the time where you need to start taking action. I mean, you should have already been taking action to build up to this, but don't wait until you feel as if you're ready to go, because in making mistakes when you first learn and when you first set up a business, that's where all your training comes in. All of the classroom studies in the world can't teach you what it's like to stand in front of a client and not know how to be able to help them. It's a reaction thing, it's an instinctive thing, it's a customer service, it's a people management, it's all of these things, and you can't read about it in a textbook. Well, you can, but it doesn't help you implement it any. So go out and do it, put yourself in awkward situations, throw yourself out of your comfort zone, and at the end of the day, write yourself a wee journal about what you learned that day. And it will feel like grim reading for a while, but when you look back on that in 6 months and realise how far you came, all of the experiences that you have gained, all of the progress that you've made and all of the knowledge that you've acquired, that's worth its weight in gold. You would not be able to put a price on that. So do your research for free via the library, contacts, networking. Put yourself in situations like networking events, coffee meetings, where you can ask for help. Then go and put it into practice, mess it up, then adjust, and know better for doing it next time. And that's the only way to do it. Go in, get your hands dirty, and get your training on the job. So what was your training budget? Did we say £5,000? Total cost? 0. Okay, can't wait for the next one. See you guys later. Bye bye.